Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a caramel brightening face cream. Before I get started, don't forget to clean your environment and use your hand gloves. You can use the surgical gloves or you can choose to use the industrial gloves. Those industrial gloves, they never ever stay put for me, so I don't use them. And don't forget to sanitize your equipment. I'm just going to be talking about some of the things that I'm using in this face cream. Now I'm going to be using about 3 to 4 actives. This face cream, I've adjusted some of the percentages, so please listen throughout this video to see what I used. This face cream is going to work for a caramel skin, someone who recently their skin got dark. This cream will be suitable for them. I'm going to be using my mini scale today because I'm going to be working with a lot of point ones and twos and threes, and so we want to be very precise when using our scales. Let's measure out our ingredients. The first ingredient is hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is a natural polysaccharide. It has large molecules. It is responsible for hydration, lubrication, and it's said to hold about 500 times its own weight of water. It is white powdered and it is soluble in water. I have liquid hyaluronic acid, but I'm going to make mine because sometimes I feel like when you buy the liquid form, they are somewhat diluted. So I'm going to be working with my own powdered hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid can be very tricky to work with, but I will show you in this video a simple way for you to work with hyaluronic acid. I'm using 1% in my formulation and I'm making a 100-gram face cream. So I'm going to be using 1 gram of hyaluronic acid. The next ingredient on my list is sodium ascorbic phosphate, which is also known as SAP. SAP is a stable form of vitamin C because ascorbic acid degrades in aqueous solution, that is water formulation. It can be very unstable, so we're going to be using a stable form of vitamin C, which is SAP. SAP helps to improve appearance of skin, anti-aging, it helps to correct hyperpigmentation and all those beautiful things. And so because of its stability, it is going to be used in this formulation. It can be used up to 10%. Usually it is recommended to be used at 0.2 to 3%. But I'm going to be using 3% in my formulation, and so that is 3 grams in this total formulation. The next ingredient on my list is ferulic acid. Ferulic acid is a very potent antioxidant. It protects the skin from free radical damage, just like all antioxidants do. It has a very nice scent and is also known as cinnamic acid. It helps to stabilize ascorbic acid, but in this case I used SAP, so it's still going to help to make sure that my SAP is very stable. It is used in lots of creams, serums, and antioxidant day cream. So if you're someone who's looking for an antioxidant to use for your day cream, you can use this. It is also a little difficult to dissolve. It is said to be dissolved in hot water, and you can add it to the heat phase of your formulation or at the end. It is also said to have some skin whitening properties. It can inhibit the production of melanin. It should be used at a rate of 0.1 to 2%. I'm going to be using it at 2% in my formulation. The next ingredient on my list is glutathione. Glutathione is a very much known skin brightening and lightening ingredient. It is also an antioxidant and it also helps to boost the efficacy of other actives when used together. It should be used at a usage rate of about 0.5 to 2%, and for me, I'm using it at 2%. The max you should use is 2%. I'm using 2%. Glutathione can have a very, very funny smell, and so in this formulation, I have a cold, so I couldn't smell it, but it did a very good job of masking itself in this formulation. However, I used other ingredients that have very nice scents, just like ferulic acid. They are going to help to mask the scent of glutathione. So I'm going to go ahead to measure out my water. I'm using my deionized water bottle. I'm using distilled water, and so I'm going to be measuring out. This makes it easier for me to be very accurate with the amount of water that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be measuring out 26 grams of water. I'm using a total of 32 grams of water in this formulation, but I'm going to be measuring out 26 grams first because I'm going to be using that to dissolve my powders. Right now, I'm dissolving my SAP, which is my vitamin C. I'm using regular water. This water is not hot or warm, and as you can see, it's dissolving beautifully. I divided my SAP into two. I dissolved one half first because I was running out of containers, so I dissolved this part first. As you can see, it is very clear liquid-like. I'm going to just make sure that everything is properly dissolved. When you're dissolving your liquid, you want to make sure that they are crystal clear, like almost like water. I want you to pay very close attention to the video I inserted. I mislabeled my powders, and so I was about to dissolve my hyaluronic acid. In the clip you can see above, and as you can see, it became a lump almost immediately. Now I want you to pay attention to the one that is at the bottom now. As you can see, I have my distilled water and I'm gradually adding my hyaluronic acid. I'm using 90 ml of water to dissolve 10 grams of hyaluronic acid. You know what I talked about hyaluronic acid that has been made into liquid form. Some of them are not as potent. And so as you can see, I'm adding my water gradually, I'm adding my hyaluronic acid gradually, and it's going to dissolve beautifully. It's also very important that you're using a high immersion blender, something that's working really fast. That helps you to get rid of the lumps, because if you're using your hand, it's going to be very lumpy. So you want to definitely use your immersion blender. So because I'm making this for caramel skin, which is almost light skinned, I used my Kamana milk as my base. My base wasn't enough, so I'm going to top it up with some goji berry. In total, I'm going to be using 50 grams of base first. Because this is a milk, I want to get a very liquid-like consistency. So I'm going to use 50% first, and then I'm going to add the leftover when I'm done mixing. So if you're making for someone who is fair skin, please don't use a regular base. It's going to darken them. I'm going to be using this to as my base. going to go ahead to add my EDTA. EDTA is a chelating agent. It makes sure that all your active are stable at their recommended pH, as well as your preservative is in place. It's basically going to make sure that everything stays put. I'm going to be using 0.2% of EDTA in my formulation. I'm going to be applying some of it on my hand so you guys can see how moisturizing this is. Just look at how it absorbs easily and just look at that nice shine after applying. I'm going ahead to test the pH of this product. This product should be at a pH of 6. I'm really not in the mood to clean all of that, so I'm just going to be using pH strips and I'm just testing it on my machine blender. And as you can see, almost immediately my product, I can tell the pH already. It's at a pH of about 6. This face cream is going to be very mild on the skin and it's going to do amazing things to the skin. All right. Now, if you want to boost the efficacy of this product, you can use alpha arbutin and glutathione. Since there are two actives in this formulation, you can use them to boost the efficacy of your face cream. All right. But still remember to check the pH and make sure that it is balanced. All right. So thank you guys for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye.